Hey guys, it's Alyssa and welcome back to my channel, The Divine Venus. Thank you so much for sticking around for my three-part series on the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone, also known as the Triple Goddess or the Life Cycle. This is why we live and breathe on Earth. She is the feminine, the divine feminine. What is the Crone? Now, if you missed the first two installments of this, I suggest you go back and watch to see what I have to say about each one and how the culture is destroying the woman. I have gotten a couple people criticize me and how I did not talk about the divine masculine or good men in general. But for that, I must ask you, why, if I'm making a video devoted to women, would I talk about men, except for the men that are hurting the women? Women also hurt women, and I also discussed that. Women exploiting their daughters, women abusing their daughters, women with deep internalized misogyny. Why? Because they also know what happens to the crone, and they'd rather be on the side of the devil than in its path. There is little divine masculine left, but the only way the divine masculine is actually going to live up to its name is if it starts treating the feminine side of life with more respect. And that's why I've made this video. If you don't like the fact that I don't bring up men when I talk about women, then I think that's something that you're going to have to figure out. I'm trying to make a point here. I'm trying to tell you about what's happening to life and why the earth is dying and why the earth wants us gone. Because here is the deal. The earth will exist even if we don't. She will win out. Because the earth is the control, it's the dominant part of where we exist. Trying to leave, trying to run away, trying to fly higher and higher and higher is not going to make us any happier. We're cutting off our roots to spite our faces. So you see, the maiden is exploited younger and younger because she has yet to come into her full body, into her full mind, into her full wisdom. The mother is married. The maiden name that belongs to the woman is finally changed to her husband's name, where she is then expected to give him children so his name can be carried on. I talk a lot about this in The Mother and how after a woman has children, she feels dead. Now, what about women who haven't had children? I want to touch on that for a little moment. Women who haven't had children are met with a lot of scrutiny from the rest of the world. Why? Because they didn't deliver the one thing. But I hope you know when I talked about the fact that some mothers aren't meant to be mothers and they should have never had children, but now they have to do a good job and get through this, I do mean that this will also help the single woman without children, the woman who's married who decides not to have children. This is about our divine feminine energy being exploited for children and being judged if you don't and hurt if you do. There's a death that happens to a woman who chooses not to have children because she's no longer accepted into a family. She is not ever fully embraced. But the problem with being a mother is that you are also never fully embraced. It's your children who are. It's everyone's desire to forget about the mother. She's married, she's chained. Now let's forget all about her. Let's breathe all the light into her children. And if she doesn't have children, why would we even care about her at all? She's not adding anything to society, because what is society? It's related to the patriarch. Structure. But I want to talk about the crone. Why does the world so desperately want to grow up girls faster, to chain them down sooner, and kill them? Because the crone is a scary bitch. There was a long, long line of burning witches, burning the crone. If that's not the physical representation of what we're doing now on a less physical plane, then I don't know what is. In my line of work, I work with many crones, many witches, many women just learning the craft that they've had in their bones and in their bloodlines for thousands of years that's laid dormant. In fact, this medium, social media, YouTube, has allowed for witches to start to explore their power, giving them a back door into a new life. But who are the real crones? Because some might look at what's going on as just play acting by a lot of women who've seen that this can make you popular or give you a job or money. We can go back to this maiden energy. When this maiden energy is promoted and propped up, it creates an illusion that a maiden could have crone energy before she's actually done the work. This is why we see girls playing tarot, playing astrology, taking other people's content and wearing it like it's a handbag. And why that upsets so many women who've honored the craft, who admit that they're not all there yet, who aren't trying to teach as much as they're trying to just live it out. In your maiden and motherhood years, this is our time of gathering experience and gathering knowledge. The crone is when we have that wisdom, but a maiden wearing crone energy just doesn't sit right with a lot of women, but it's what sells. And as you can see, even right now, during this time where the crone is finally trying to rise with her dark energy, it's being promoted into this very pink-like craft. Because the crone is the queen of darkness, the queen of death and regeneration and rebirth. She is where you go into death, into your shadow, into your darkness, and you pull out everything. You can see the damage that was done in the dark. All the evil men and women doing evil deeds inside the energy of the crone. You see, if the crone is allowed to live, if she's allowed to come up and to be seen and to be alive, you no longer can kill the world the way you've been doing it. Her wisdom of what she's seen in that darkness, her wisdom of her life on earth, her wisdom that has come through growth and maturity is what makes her beautiful, but also scary. You don't know the magic that she holds, the spirit in which lives through her. You can't trust her. She's not trustworthy. When Eve meets the snake, Eve is a maiden. She's too young. She is a non-progressed female energy. And when she eats from the tree of knowledge because the snake tempts her to, she's not ready yet. And she knows she's naked, so she covers up. What of the woman who is ready? What of the woman who is the tree, who is the Garden of Eden, who holds the snake in her hand? Because we have two images here. We have the maiden dragged to hell by Hades, the maiden who's not ready to know but learns. And then we have the woman that this entire story was built on. Why do we forget about her?
God created the heavens and the earth. God looked at what he had created and he said it was good.
How did he create, if not for the woman? Genesis 1:2, the first time the number 2, which is the moon, shows up in the Bible. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. The woman is implied. The darkness is always there. The darkness is the crone, is the woman, is chaos, the primordial deity, the galactic center, where all life began inside her dark, magical womb. When a girl grows up, she becomes who she was always meant to be. She goes back to the beginning, back through death, and transforms into what a woman has always desired to know.
Everything.
She knows everything. She is everything. Her body is magic and encompasses and picks up the energy of the stars and of the earth. She is both rooted and connected. She trusts her instincts and her intuition. She speaks to God and she speaks to Gaia. She knows what is best and she sees what you're doing. She teaches the young maiden how to come into her sexuality in a peaceful, loving way, in a way that honors her growth. She shows the mother how to trust her instincts. Instead of this masculine world where we tell mothers that they don't know what they're doing and that they should listen to male doctors because male doctors have studied things like not nurturing our babies and disconnecting ourselves at hospitals, the crone would tell you, don't listen to them, they don't know. You know who knows how to take care of your baby? You do. You do. It's already in your body, it's in your bones, it's in your bloodstream. Who knows that? the crone. Because she knows when you come into your motherhood, whether you choose to be a mother or you choose not to be, you are choosing you and your instincts. And they're coming up and they're teaching you what you've known through generations and generations of witchy women just like you. And at the very end, when you know everything and you are connected to everything, you finally have the answers you wanted when you were a child. The divine feminine is knowledge. She is the snake. Religion, modern new age thinking, they don't want you to know this. They want you to believe in the light of the sun, the light of the stardust. They want you to disconnect from your roots and head your brain off into some other alternate universe and forget that the physical body is what holds the keys to life. You want to meet God? Take yourself to a woman. You want to know what God knows? Please a woman. Spend your time devouring a woman's body. The wisest of women will teach you the most through her words, her body, her consciousness. This is what all women aspire to be. And we wear it like makeup when we're young. We start to lose it when we grow into ourselves and we listen to man and we listen to the rules. Why do women not trust themselves? Why do we say it takes a village? A woman is everything. She is the village, but she doesn't trust herself. She never allows herself to gain access into her crone years because she spends so much time focusing on what she is with a man. You see, the woman is implied. The woman is the darkness. God came as the light, and we follow that. The woman was passive, superior. She let God work through her. She let the divine masculine work through her, and together they created. He was so proud of his creation, he never looked back to thank her. And over time, she became lost.
Evil.
We're afraid of her, and rightly so. She contains the 7 deadly sins. She contains all of the knowledge of your weakness, of your perversions. Why would man want to kill the crone? She is the queen of the darkness. She's the witch. And what happens when you're afraid of your shadow? You're afraid of her. She reflects back to you every awful thing that you've thought of or done. The ones that are deepest, most suppressed in your body, and she does not tell you that they are good. She shows you how evil they can be. When you let them fester and you don't let her bring them to light, no one ever sees. But they create dark matter, something we have all learned to live with. We are afraid of the crone because she lives in the shadows and she brings it to light. You can't do shadow work without her. She sees you before you see yourself. You're not afraid of the crone. You're afraid of who you are. It's the crone who shows it to you. The wiser and more mature a woman becomes, the more beautiful she is. As a test, Aphrodite sent Psyche down into hell to gain 1 drop of Persephone's beauty, but warned her, do not look at it. Psyche, being curious, looked at it and fell to sleep. To see the dark beauty, you cannot be in the light. You need to be in your deepest unconsciousness. A woman has this power to reach that. So of course a man would not want her to. Not if he's doing evil deeds. A woman with deep-rooted misogyny would not want you to reach that because you would see her evil deeds. When everyone's up on social media, living their best lives, being their best people, showing only the greatest things in their white, sterile environments, hiding the shadow, hiding the darkness, expecting that a couple meditations will help clear it out, when it's not that at all. It's about entering the dark night of the soul, going deep into your darkness, and that takes time. And no one understands time more than the one who's lived it the longest, the crone. I wonder why anyone thought that a man's maturity was valued when men do not mature. That's the whole point of a man, is that he doesn't mature, is that his face barely ages, is that his wisdom is always the same. It's that a man can be 75 years old and find something to talk about with a 20-year-old maiden. That's insane. Talking to a woman who's come into her crone years, who's lived and is wise, she would end world hunger. She would bring world peace. She would make men and women equal. And she wouldn't have to lift a finger. She would just clear out all of the dark matter with her body, with her soul, with her eyes. So of course we want her dead, because then we can do dark things. It's only the crone who knows how to bring evil into the light, because she will take all of the darkness she sees in hell and she will deliver it to you in her creations come springtime. You don't want her. You don't want her at all. But a man who is open, who has cleared out his dark side, who has done his shadow work, who understands that the service that he brings to the woman gives him so much more in return. The man is the sun. The woman is the moon. The woman doesn't hurt. She nurtures. The man burns up everything he touches. It is only the moon that can reflect the sun in a beautiful way to bring forth the light at night. It is only the woman, the crone, who can do this. But what happens when the man grows so self-aware and so proud of himself for what he's able to create in this feminine world? He's so proud of what he's made, he ignores the fact that everything he's made has been because of a woman. She does not make everything better. She does not take a sperm and make a baby. She does not take groceries and make a dinner. That's this most misogynistic, backwards shit I've ever heard. It is a man who takes a woman and makes something, not the other way around. The woman is always in existence. Your body is female, even when you are a man. But that consciousness sees the woman and wants to make something with her. If he does not get on his knees and serve the queen, he forgets about her. He shines his light on himself, creating narcissism, the ego. But the woman is still there. The woman knows how to live in the dark. And that's why those with feminine energy, with a lot of feminine, man or woman with feminine instincts, knows how to still live even in the darkest of circumstances. The one who still holds the faith, the candle, knowing and hoping that one day it will be better. Like Pandora's box. When Pandora opened her jar and all the evil went into the world, and she closed it, and all that remained was hope, because she had hope to hold on to. That one day we would get invited back into Eden when we knew how to respect the tree of knowledge, the tree of life, the garden, the woman that we built this entire world on. Look what man has created from the woman. We want the crone dead because no one wants to see their own darkness and disgust. No one wants to expose their own truth. So kill the crone and keep on doing evil in the dark. But the crone's rising. You should feel it now. She made herself heard. She made herself known. And when it's time, that divine masculinity that was turned into a toxic cesspool will bow down and show the world that it was her that he's always loved. You know it's the end of the world when God gives all of the power to the one he loves the most. The woman, the divine feminine, the only reason why we're all here. The queen, the triple goddess, the maiden, mother, and crone. Your body, your spirit, your heart, your consciousness. The man may have breathed life into the darkness, but is the only woman who knows how to navigate it. So like our ancient mother, let's create some chaos.